My angels, this is for my divine feminines on a journey, identifying with a twin flame journey. I just saw a video of this lady saying that when you are right before your union and when you're ready for union, you start to dislike your masculine. You start to dislike your masculine. And I've heard many opinions, I've heard sometimes divine feminines say that when the union approaches, like it's you don't want it, you don't like him, you couldn't care less. And I don't know why exactly they say that. And I think that I want to clarify this state to you, right? So I think that these opinions, either those are ladies who just don't know exactly how to explain, because not everyone has the same capacity to explain the mindset, right? How we feel, and to express that in words, we sometimes get confused. And I think that maybe there are also some feminines who know about the journey because they've been on a journey. But I always say this to you guys: being on a journey doesn't mean that it's your life's mission to help others to get there and to help other twins. So when you're sharing something from your own perspective, you may just have the visual of your own journey. And only those of us feminists that are meant to work with twins, or any specific topic for that matter, I touch about this all the time with you guys. When something is our mission, we receive experiences, downloads, intuitive thoughts, psychic visions from the divine to be able to carry that mission. And we're not just speaking from our own perspective and our own projection. So I want to explain to you this mindset when the table turns, because it's not like you dislike your masculine. How could you dislike your masculine? How could anyone say this, that when you're about to get into union, you dislike your masculine? He is you and you are him. Part of what I teach you guys is that to ever get into union, you have to heal your connection with your masculine. All you have for him is love. You have no resentment. How could you dislike him? It's a reflection of you. It would mean that you dislike yourself. So either she doesn't know what she's talking about, or she just cannot explain properly this mindset. So I'm going to give it a try, and I'm going to explain this to you, right? As we go through this journey, I always say this to you guys: tables turn actually 2 times, because there's a moment when we meet, when there's a moment of activation, and sometimes it only lasts literally minutes, if not hours, or if not minutes. It's our masculine that lays eyes on us first, right? So he sees us, he activates us, he feels that first. And we usually, again, it may just last few hours, not really interested, or a few days, right? And then the activation happens and the tables turn, and we get into that state for years on end, into longing, into wanting, into pursuing, and he goes under a veil of avoidance. Armor is fully up, right? And in those stages, he feels fear, deep fear, okay? Avoidance rooted in that fear. I don't want him. It's not, I don't want her. I don't want it. It's not going to work out. He's running away, da 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 da. And we are just in so much longing, in so much impatience, in so much anxiety. And we embark on a journey of healing through different stages of this journey. So we heal our wounds, we heal our core wounds, our traumas. So we get out of this state of shadows, because our shadows are healed. We integrate them back into our psyche. And then they still inside of us. I always say this to you guys: we don't carve them out and throw them to the bin. We give them love and we integrate them, but our soul holds the reins. We're healed, right? So when we are both healed and when we are both ready, the feminine leads the way. So we're going to get there first. I always talk about this. In reality, it's just an illusion, because we're one soul, one consciousness. But when we get to that mindset, when we both get to that mindset, when the masculine is also healed, he goes through his awakening. He breaks no contact, and he reaches out with the readiness to walk us towards union. Now he's going to be grounding this union. So he's going to be walking us in the physical towards union. I always say this to you guys: we have to heal the connection, and we have to embody union on a spiritual level first, so he can ground the frequency of union. So he grounds that frequency of union, and he gets back to us. And this is the moment when the tables turn. And when we say tables turn, so you feel what he felt and he feels what you felt in the beginning, it doesn't mean that you're not gonna want it, you're gonna be in crazy avoidance, you don't even like him, because you're healed. How could you? You cannot feel how he felt years ago because you've healed. And he cannot feel the same anxiety as you felt years ago because you were wounded. But you have to experience to close the loop, to become whole, to become one. You have to fully step into each other's shoes, to also learn humility, to also fully learn and feel what the other person was going through. Although I always say this to you guys, on this journey of healing, when we go through this journey, at certain stage you're gonna feel it, because the more you're connected through telepathy, the more you heal, you're gonna start really feeling what the other person is feeling, right? But at the very end, those roles have to change. It's also because in the beginning you were in your masculine, because you were chasing, you were wanting, you were longing, you were insisting, and your masculine, very often they are in their wounded feminine, because they flaky, because they're non-committal, because they're chaotic, because they don't know, right? So we're in wounded masculine, they're wounded feminine. So the roles have to switch, but they're never going to switch to a level of wounding, because we are healed. So whoever wants to convince you that before union you're not going to want it and you're not going to like him, it is just not true, you guys. It is not possible. It is not possible. You know before union that he's the other half of you. You love yourself, ergo you love him. You will always want it. But what you want is a peaceful union, harmonious, effortless union. And more than that, you are now healed. You are connected to source. You are connected to your mission. You understand the flow of feminine and masculine energy that I always explain to you guys, this triangle. You can read about this on my website in Divine Love section. We always look towards God, and then God blesses our masculine in the physical world, and then he looks towards us with devotion and protection. That's how we never prioritize our masculine, right? We prioritize our mission, because our role is to guide us in alignment, right? So what happens and how it feels before union is that he returns, right? And now you embody that, the energy that he was embodying, but in a healed state. So you trust. You have no urgency. You know how I always say to you that they trust that it's destined, but it's like that if it's going to happen, she's going to return to me. So you trust. You have no impatience. You have no urgency. Your mission is more important to you. So the moment he walks in, you're no longer in this state that you're going to quit everything. You're always happy that he reaches out because you love him. You're always open. If you have no resentment, you have no resentment. You play no games. You love him. How could you dislike him? It's nonsense. It's ridiculous. But you no longer have this urgency. You trust that it's going to happen. So for example, if you have to travel for work, or you have some sort of a spiritual related to your mission project that you have to complete, you're not quitting at all to run to him. If you live in different cities or even different countries, you're not packing your bags to run to him. You're just allowing things to unfold naturally. If you are maybe, in a life scenario that is not allowing you right now to put all his attention on him, you're not doing that. And in addition to that, because as I mentioned, you have to put yourself, you have to be put in his shoes from the beginning a little bit, but in a healed state. So what usually happens is that he comes back, right? So your heart is happy, your soul is happy. You're always happy to connect to him. But you have spent probably the last years of your life in a state of peace and alignment, right? So you are connected to your mission. You have deep self-love. You live a life where you wake up in the morning and you're happy, you're grateful, you're fulfilled. And you haven't seen him, you haven't spoke to him sometimes for years on end. So despite the fact that you know his soul and you know he's the other half of you in the physical, his avatar in this life, and he's changed, he's a completely different person, you don't know him. So the moment he comes back, you think to yourself, okay, maybe he returned for union, when you're truly ready, right? Maybe he returned for union, but maybe he's not yet ready. So I cannot just allow him into my life and disrupt my peace and disrupt my life that I have built for myself through hard work and through soul work and through alignment, just because I've missed him. You now are really deeply anchored in your divine feminine energy, right? So you do feel a little bit of fear. You do feel a little bit of, if I open my heart, if I jump into it like I did in the past, and it seems that it will result that he's not yet ready and we're going to go back into separation, I'm going to risk disrupting my peace. So it's not like you don't want it, you don't like him, you dislike him, but you start to feel a little bit of what he was feeling, a little bit of fear, a little bit of maybe I'll deal with this later, right? But this also shows your divine feminine. It shows your stillness. It shows the fact that you are not the one that is supposed to lead this connection in the physical world, right? And you just take things with patience. You allowed him to hold the reins. So again, it's not like you don't want it. It's not like you want to avoid it. It's not like you want to block him and not deal with this message, because those emotions are no longer within you. You are healed. You are healed. If you're ready for union, you are healed. Peace, brother. So you live your life, you continue to live your life, and you just allow things to unfold. You feel a little bit of that fear. You start to understand what it was like to fear opening your heart, knowing that someone has the capacity to break it, right? As if he was feeling in the past. And in the same time, he feels what you were feeling. Again, if he's ready for union, it means that he is healed in his divine masculine. So he's not going to be crazy and anxious like you are and crazy longing. But he's now in his masculine, healed masculine. You were in the beginning in your wounded masculine. So now he's in this realization, oh my God, we've been wasting time. She knew this all along, right? He wants it. He's in his masculine. He wants to conquer. He wants to conquer you. He wants to claim you. He wants to start his life together with you in union. There's no shred of doubt within him right now. So he feels the anxiety and the longing that you felt. Again, in a healed state, because the tables are turning, but now you're healed. So he's going to be the one to message every day. He's going to be the one to reach out. He's going to be the one to propose dates. He's going to be the one to be a little bit impatient, right? A little bit anxious. He's going to be the one that will now feel a little bit of that pain, just like you are feeling his pain from the beginning. What's it like to be so scared to open your heart? He's going to feel the pain. What's it like to really love someone and want to hold someone and have to be patient and have to wait? Because usually when they return, we don't see each other next day, because you want to see how things unfold. Are you truly in your masculine? I say this to you guys all the time, and I've done a whole episode. It's part of my Divine Feminine Masterclass. There's an episode about stages of the journey, and I explain the last stage. It's this calibration of the flames. We don't just he doesn't come on a white horse and they live happy ever after. There's usually a month, sometimes a cycle of communication. You might see each other for coffee, but you don't jump into a relationship, because of everything that I've just explained. So because it doesn't go from a 0 to 100, because you are now healed, he feels a little bit of that impatience, because now he wants to make up for those years. Now he understands. He has awakened. He has healed. He wants it. He wants to hold you. He wants to claim you. He wants you to be his woman, his divine feminine. He wants to fuse with you. He wants that union. He wants to commit He wants to have that intention with you, right? So when you are taking things slow, he starts to feel a bit of that anxiety. He starts to feel a little bit of that impatience. Like, why is this not happening? I want it now, right? So the tables are turning for us to experience what the other one was experiencing in the beginning, but it cannot be at the same level again because we're healed. So if you ever hear feminine saying that you dislike him, you don't really like him, he repels you, you don't want him, you don't even want to speak to him, it's not true. But remember, you are now in your divine feminine state. So from the moment you are anchored in your divine feminine, two things can happen. In some connections, masculine will return when he's ready. And you're going to start that recalibration and everything that I just described, right? But sometimes it may happen that he's not completely yet ready. So he's going to return and you're going to trigger each other a little bit more still. And you're going to go back into that separation, maybe for another cycle or whatever that is, right? So if that's actually the case, if he's not yet ready and he's returning not in the right energy, right? So not in the masculine energy, and you are already in your feminine, you may be a little bit repelled, right? You may be a little bit like, I don't want it. It seems flaky. So if he's going to return and just like, hey, how you been, right? Again, non-committal, flaky, non-divine masculine, you will be repelled. But if you are ready, if you are already in your divine feminine, you're not going to dislike him. He's not going to repel you because you would already have compassion that you know that this is the other half of my soul. I love you, but honey, you are not healed. So you're just going to push him back, but with love and compassion. Because if you don't have love and compassion, if he repels you completely, like in a sense, blah, blah, it means that you're not healed. How could this be an energy? How disliking the other half of your soul could ever be the energy of divine feminine? You guys, things that people say online, they just, oh my God. Spirit just like pokes me and like, you go and explain this, because people like, I'm serious. It's just like, I truly want to believe that they understand the mindset, especially if they've been through it, but they just don't know how to verbalize it. They just don't know how to explain it. So they speak nonsense, or they just creating these videos to attract, because the drama always attracts followers, right? I don't know, but it is just not true. It is just not true. When you're healed, when you're anchored in your divine feminine, all you have for your divine masculine is love. You don't want anything from him. You have patience. You don't want to rush him. You're not questioning, where is he? Why is he not returning? You just live your life of fulfillment, of mission, of peace, of love and joy and abundance every single day. He returns. If he's in the right energy, you slowly accept him, but slow and steady, because now you feel a little bit of that fear and that avoidance around, what if I let him in and he disappoints me again? So you just want to take it slow, and you taking it slow causes a little bit of anxiety within him and a little bit of impatience again, so you can experience that mindset and close that loop, close that circuit, truly become whole. Now you would have experienced this journey from the perspective of both. Now you're ready for true union, which is intention, which is commitment, and it's fusion. I hope this clarifies. I hope I explained this to you guys so you understand. This is what the feminine embodies when you're truly ready for union. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I love you so incredibly much, and I will see you soon.